A surprising new name is questioning whether Robert F. Kennedy's assassination involved a second gunman. The senator and presidential candidate was shot and killed after a speech in 1968. Sirhan Sirhan is serving a life sentence for Kennedy's murder, but Robert Kennedy Jr. told the Washington Post that once he saw the autopsy report, quote, "I didn't feel it was something I could dismiss. I was disturbed the wrong person might have been convicted of killing my father." Tony DeCopel is here. Tony, good morning.
Good morning. Quite a thing to say, huh?
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy's assassination happened 50 years ago next week. Now, Robert Kennedy Jr. is calling for a new investigation. He met face-to-face last year with Sirhan Sirhan, that's the man convicted in the plot to kill his father, and he says he left that meeting believing that the gunman was falsely accused.
Now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you, guys.
Robert Kennedy was in Los Angeles on the night of June 5th, 1968, celebrating his victory in California's presidential primary. As Kennedy was leaving, he was shot 3 times. He died a day later. 5 others were hit but survived. Police arrested 24-year-old Sirhan Sirhan. He admitted to killing RFK, but said he had no memory of the event. Sirhan was standing in front of Kennedy at the time of the shooting, but an autopsy report found Kennedy was shot at point-blank range from behind. Over the years, new evidence reportedly shows as many as 13 shots were fired that night, but Sirhan's gun held only 8 bullets. That's one reason why many now question Sirhan's guilt, including Robert Kennedy Jr. He tells the Washington Post there were too many bullets. You can't fire 13 shots out of an 8-shot gun. Paul Schrade was also shot that night and has doubts.
It would be easy for somebody to slip up behind Bob and shoot him. But Sirhan was not in position to shoot Robert Kennedy after his first 2 shots. He missed Kennedy, shot me.
RFK Jr. and Schrade are calling for a new investigation, something historian Doug Weed supports.
As someone who writes history books, you cannot trust history. So I don't blame Robert Kennedy at all for pursuing this.
Kennedy tells the Post he spent 3 hours visiting Sirhan in prison late last year after researching his father's assassination for months. "I got to a place where I had to see Sirhan. I went there because I was curious and disturbed by what I had seen in the evidence." Kennedy did not reveal what they talked about, but he came away convinced Sirhan did not kill his father. Sirhan's brother, Munir, is grateful to now have Kennedy on his side.
Both Sirhan and I were elated. Really happy. Maybe now we'll, have a chance to have more people be aware of what actually happened that night.
Now, there is still ample evidence that Sirhan is guilty. He did confess, after all, and he had been target practicing earlier that day. He also took his gun to the venue. Still, as with the assassination of Robert Kennedy's brother, President John Kennedy, we are still debating this decades later, and the truth appears to be out of our reach.
It's interesting because he did confess, but then he said he had no memory of the shooting.
Yep.
Indeed, he did. Now, a judge weighed in 2016 and said, look, this guy definitely fired shots there. Was there a second gunman? Well, how did no one see him? That's the big question.
Fascinating to see what Ethel and the other children think about this. Tony, thank you.
Thank you.